Hello everyone. Welcome back to Misfits Racing League action. Sorry for the delays, a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we're here once again for some more racing, and it is going to be the Tier 3 Racing Division for Round 3 around Russia. Joining me for the action once again, as always, Mr. Alejandro Beto. How you doing?
Hello, Steve. I'm very happy to be here again. And well, of course, round 3 already, and it's gonna be Russia, of course.
Russia, a very intense circuit. We've already seen 2 races around Russia this week, and 2 very different races. We saw Tier 4 yesterday, a dry campaign. The Americas Tier 2 division, a full wet campaign. Of course, 18 turns here around Sochi, and it's going to be a very good race, as the Tier 3 grid has already provided us with some great action. Of course, the third round here in Russia. Next week, we go over to Spa. Following that, Italy, Japan, Britain, Azerbaijan, Hungary, Singapore, and of course, France, Spain, Austria, Mexico, and then the final round in Brazil. Now, with that said, we are on a little bit of a delay, so we want to get ourselves into the action as quickly as we can. Let's take a look at the standings. Crampy, 35 points at the top. He is in the Williams. Carbon Racer there. He collected a very solid haul of points last week out as well, and he's in second in the championship with Wavy rounding out the top 3. We have Dark there and Artex top 5, and Artex tied with Jean at the moment with 18 points between the pair of them. Very good championship after 2 rounds already heating up. Williams leading things with 55 points in the constructors. Mercedes there in second, and Alpha Tauri in third. We're just about ready to go racing here. I imagine all of the drivers ready to go, and with that, we'll get everyone readied up and into our 18-minute qualifying session in this round 3 action. Very curious to see what the role of the dice will be for the weather. We're running the dynamic weather option, so we can see rain in qualifying, we can see dry conditions in qualifying, we can see really any kind of shuffle of weather conditions, as we've already seen. I'd say both extremes. We've gone from a very dry race where we've had no clouds to, well, a full wet campaign. So, wishing everyone luck here with that roll of the dice. I mean, I'd like to see, well, I've already seen rain. Normally I'm very gung-ho for the rain, but this time around, I've already seen a wet race this week. We'll just have to see how things play on.
Surely it's gonna be really interesting if some rain can drop today here in Russia. Of course, sorry for the delay. We're waiting for one driver who's having issues joining the lobby. It's something that we're really trying to, well, to go, of course, at time, but sometimes doesn't work. So just waiting for one driver, which I think he has just joined. So we might be ready, Swift.
Excellent. Of course, always wanting to get all the racers in. We want to give everyone an opportunity to get those drives through, especially in the qualifying, get a lap time set. Technical issues seem to be the trend today. Some technical issues on my end here in getting the stream going, and some technical issues on getting some of the drivers into the lobby, but at the very least, we are now here into session, and we are going to be going for 18 minutes of qualifying around the Sochi Autodrome here for the third round of MRL Season 5. It's the Tier 3 action for the Russian Grand Prix.
Of course, third race of the week. We had Tier 4 yesterday. Of course, America's Tier 2 as well. And well, now with Tier 3, a lot of battles we had last week on Zambord. And these drivers, I think, they are really hungry to have a lot of fun here in Russia. Some drivers normally hate this track, but we'll see on this game. It seems like a lot more of drivers, more of course, are trying to really enjoy this of course this track and having more opportunities to overtake. So it seems like it can be at least more fun than it was the last game.
Yeah, a lot of drivers here getting a sigh of relief. Freeware coming through into the chat, giving us a heads up that it is going to be a dry campaign, albeit things looking quite cloudy and overcast here in the session. The Mercedes drivers already on the way out. Carbon racer Jose Manuel on the move, and a few drivers ahead of them moving through. We'll find the first driver out into the circuit. It's going to be Crampy in the Williams, and Crampy leading this championship. We'll have to see how the Williams squad goes today. Wavy, up until I think it was about half an hour ago, uncertain whether or not he was going to make it. They had, I think, Henner's potentially standing by in reserve from the Williams squad, and Henner's would have been a good pick here, I think, considering he did have a win yesterday in the Americas Tier 2 grid, but Wavy, also a quite capable driver, sitting third in this championship, and him being here in that full-time capacity, giving him a really good edge and trying to maintain that third position championship slot.
I think that he really deserves to drive today. Same team, of course, they want to maximize the points, and Wavy has been doing, well, really great job. He had some issues at Zambord, but I think it wasn't his fault. I think he was involved in one incident after he was second place on the first stint, and after he pitted, he had contact, I think, with one driver, and then he was, well, sent at the back of the grid. But after that, he did a really good comeback from that place, and I think he did score a couple of points at least, as we see his teammate on sector 3 just preparing his lap behind him. I think there's a Haas of I think it might be Dark, yeah, who's just behind him. So let's jump on board with Crampy.
Crampy just pushing out of turn 18 now, and he's going to have that rear wing come open just ahead of this near non-existent turn 1, this very flowing section of circuit through into the first real right-hander of turn 2 here. Hard braking zone. You want to find yourself on that exit curbing, but not enough that you would invalidate. Then you come through this very long left-hander, this very hanging third turn into the right-hander of turn 4. Crampy pushing very well right now in the Williams to give us a look at the circuit now through the right-hander of turn 5. Things can really start to get tricky here as we come through turn 6. You look up at this section here. We already saw some issues in Tier 4 yesterday. Safety car as a result of a collision with IDJ through turn 9.
Has invalidated that lap.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Just before starting the second DRS straight. Will jump with Dark. I think is as well on a flyer, but on the Williams.
Dark in the Haas right now pushing through. He'll want to, of course, get the first time on the board. He's on these medium compound tires, as you said, and not a lot of drivers on the medium. 6 drivers out of the 20 have those compounds selected, and if you look at the timing tower, everybody is trying to fly right now. There's not a lot of outlaps listed on the board, and there goes Dark at 30.2.
Yeah, a lot of drivers flying. I think Crampy is going to start another one. As because someone had a mistake, big mistake. I think he spun out of turn 9. So with the mediums, he will try to do another one, I think, after that. But now all the time's dropping. Jan 29.3 on the AlphaTauri. This provisional pole. Of course, only 5 drivers setting that lap time. 3 of them with the mediums. Now Lucaspi as well. Jumping there on 7th place. Max O'Connor. Driver DMB. A lot of drivers right now who are pushing on his first Atom.
Yeah, this is a very tight session already. Looking at a lot of these medium runs coming through. Gabizem, he's on the mediums. He'll be pushing a run through. Jose Manuel's coming through into turn 18. We'll see what he puts on the board. It's good for 12th, but of course he's going to be maybe pushing again, as I don't think he used any of his battery on the previous run. A 2-minute run. Okay, it was the spin. Artex giving him a cheeky toe here into turn 1.
Let's see if it works. Of course, it's the mediums. I don't know if he wants to try to start with that sire. We can see the map, a lot of traffic there on that section at the beginning of sector 2. The 3 drivers, I don't know if they are flying or if they are trying to do back-to-back laps, but of course very close to, I think, to optimize the track, as I think a mistake on sector 3 from Haas. I think that might be Rakri. Yes, it is.
Oh, very tight there as his teammate flows through just next to him. I thought there might have been a chance at contact there. Crampy just pushing right now, maybe warming up. We've seen him do this before where he just chains runs and gets warmed up. Let's take a look at the separation on grid right now. For the times that have already been set from 16 drivers, the separation first down through to 9th position as Epic takes provisional pole at 29.343. It's tight here on this grid, and this is a very, very busy first run for a lot of these drivers. There was so much traffic, Alex.
There was indeed a lot, and Crampy right now is struggling. He has invalidated again. I think they are used softs, but still he has been losing time with those invalidations, still not setting any lap time, as we have another yellow flag. I think that might be Jan's teammate, Zasco. They're on 7th place, I think. Well, I think he's running out of fuel.
I don't know what's going on there.
Well,
with
I'm
the
not sure.
AlphaTauri.
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure because he doesn't have the light on. He lets Gavison by, he invalidated his lap, and they are both going to the pit lane. Might be that, I think, the case. Looking a little bit those tires. Jose Manuel, I think, improved his lap time by 30 seconds. A little bit of gap he had to improve there, of course.
Yeah, I think he wanted to hunt down a big chunk of time there. Now, one thing to talk about here while we're in this little bit of a calm before the storm, see if we can jump on with back row. He's actually got a red track map right now. Tier 4 yesterday saw Trick Sam in the McLaren take pole position. The race, however, brought an entirely different podium to light as we saw Polypunk and Disaster with another shakedown at the line. Disaster seems to be trending in those very, very split-second finishes at the line, but it was Polypunk, Disaster, and PW Jones yesterday. Of course, the Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, and, well, the Mercedes who came through on the podium. And then we saw America's Tier 2. We saw Henners in the Williams take the win, Vlad Putin in the Red Bull, and then another Ferrari, Mr. Graz, collecting that 3rd slot. So we'll see what the constructors are able to do today. I'm wondering who we'll see on pole position right now. Epic and John looking quite tight. Big shout out to Neon. Thank you very much for the raid of 4. Greatly appreciate you coming through, and welcome in, everyone. We are here 10 minutes ticking down in qualifying ahead of Tier 3, Round 3, Russian GP action.
Others think maybe the next driver to set a lap with the mediums. He's on his out lap now on the last corner. 19th place for him. Haven't set a lap time yet. We have Hanos, Crampy, Colors, and Rackety without that time on the board. Wavy with a lap that it's not representing his pace shortly. So we'll jump on Colors. Will be the first, I think, of this second attempt, or at least probably even third. So we will see now Colors just hugging that long left-handed there on sector 1. No braking. You really need to lift before the corners to make that car stick on the apex. Just exiting their traction with the traction there on these corners of 90 degrees is really, really difficult to put the pedal down, and of course with the mediums, of course a little bit more difficult than on the softs. The curbs as well on that corner not really helping. Now he will be opening DRS on sector 2 on the back straight, as we will see, which is his second split, but it doesn't seem like a bad lap for him.
No, it looks like it's an alright run here. He's on the medium compound tires. He's actually the only driver with this tire now selected and on their car. And it's a curious question to see as to why he's doing this run now so late in, of course, the qualifying session. He now comes out of turn 16. He pushes through into the penultimate turn. What is he going to find here, Alex?
Let's see, it sounds like 30, mid 30, no, not even, it's low 30, and it's a very good time with the mediums. He jumps into P8, and I think probably he might be one of the first with the mediums. Yes, indeed, he's the best, the fastest with the medium. Just ahead of Dark, 1/10 shy.
Well, very solid run there from him. He'll be really happy about that. Carbon Racer now in the Mercedes. I think he is starting a lap. He'll be looking to improve a 29.5. Quite a few drivers coming through to the line. Some new times going to be set here. Trying to find who's going to come through very soon.
Colors, actually, I was oh!
What happened to him?
Colors he was trying to do back-to-back laps. He was pushing too much, and I think it's the exit of turn 7. A lot of throttle there on that traction zone. I said it the lap before. It's really difficult to put the throttle down with the mediums, and there he goes into the wall. It seems like almost in the racing line, but he flipped that car.
That's a very, very unfortunate situation to find yourself in there. We take a look at the top 5 right now. I think Wisp got in there at 29.751. A lot of invalidated laps right now as we look to jump on with some of these drivers. Not a lot of improvements being seen so far. Max O'Connor in the Aston Martin. I wonder if he got impeded through any of the traffic.
It isn't that bad for Colors right now. Well, he set at that lap with the mediums. He will be, of course, dropping there on the tower. But still, he will have that time as someone improves. I think that was
Crampy.
Max O'Connor. Yeah, it was Crampy.
Crampy P5 there, a good run. Max O'Connor now, he's just coming through 16. He is looking for an improvement, and I think he's found that just coming through Sector 2. We'll see what he can bring through out of turn 18 to the line. What's it going to be? Ooh, he brought it just a bit too wide. He invalidated. So that is not how you want to be finishing out that run.
I think he was having some issues with the fuel, probably, or I don't think he has it still, but he's short on fuel. He won't be doing 2 laps in a row, surely, as he waved on the line. And well, he validated not only that lap, but the next one. So he will have to jump into the box and probably try with a new set of softs and trying to prove that time. He has still 5 minutes and probably even more, of course, to these drivers on their time. So we'll see if someone can improve. I think Artex is on an outlap. His teammate, though, Becario, is there flying. Well, he invalidates. He was half a second on green. Oof, and he almost spins. He saved it twice.
Back row coming through. 19th position at 30.8 for him. Back row very capable. He moves through with near half a second the improvement, and he's 30.398 now, 15th position. Rackety on an outlap in the Haas.
Is flying now on the back straight. Don't know if he's having. Oh well, he yielded there. I don't know why. Probably he was watching some traffic there ahead of him. He didn't want to
Wavy.
do the lap right now.
Wavy, sorry. He goes P10 as Dark comes through. 29.435. He shoots into the top 3.
It's a very good one for Dark. He's really close to pole position. Not even a 10th between the top 3 right now. And it's very, very close. Epic took pole last week. He wants to repeat that, of course, and he's doing a very good job to keep that streak going on. But right now, the gap is really, really close, and I think anyone here can take it. Even Caravan Racer is not that far. Artex, Crampy, probably even Zasco can take it today.
Yeah, this grid really tight right now, and when you think about it, from first all the way down to 15th position, it is 1 second the separation. If you look at it from first down to 10th, it's half a second the separation, or less than. So this is a circuit where you have DRS opportunities. You have a lot of there's actually a healthy amount of overtaking opportunities here, not like Zandvoort where it was a little bit more of a risk, management circuit where you really kind of have to figure out your opportunities and go through, really take advantage of certain opportunities that other mistakes come, when other drivers make mistakes. And Artex right now, he's going to be pushing in this Red Bull to give us a lap.
He was flying, but in turn 4, massive understeer on sector 1, and he lost 1 second and a half. We will see if he has recovered some time. Yes, indeed, but it's not enough to be on green delta. We'll see on sector 3 he has time there to improve. But yeah, that massive understeer that he had at the exit of the really long left-handed, well, he lost a lot of time and he went off track. He had to yield a little bit, and well, there he goes into the pits. He knows he's not the best lap he can do, so he has still time to improve that one. So he will be, of course, probably changing compound and try it again later.
Okay, now look at the calm situation we have here. Everybody either on an outlap or in the pits. Rackety, he's on these mediums and he'll be pushing to find a time on the board. Nothing set yet in the Haas.
Drifting a little bit there at the exit of the chicane on sector 3. A lot of changes there on the tarmac, and you really need to nail the traction. He improves, of course. Well, he sets a lap time. He didn't have any 31.3 with the mediums, but right now he stays on that last row. I think it's Beccario who's gonna start right now his lap. I think he will be the first of the last ones.
Racketing near two seconds off of pole position with that run. Beccario, he's a little bit closer. He's within that 1 second near range. 1.238 is currently the gap between him and first position. So when you're Beccario, anything you find here could realistically shoot you a number of positions. Things are just that tight, and we'll have to see what he finds here. He's found a 10th. So Beccario now finding a 10th. He'll need to find more, because to really break into the positions, I think he needs to get out of that 30 range a little. Well, he needs to get to that low 30, that 29 range. When he comes through sector 2, we're going to see the split, and it's going to need to be at least 3/10, I think, for him to find enough through the third sector with the track evolution to do anything about these top 10.
See right now 3/10s, as you said, they're finishing sector 2. Now he has to keep it valid, really difficult on the last corners, and of course keep it clean. He has a little bit of traffic there that can affect at least on his focus there on sector 3. Beccario, he set it his lap time with the softs before 32.5, but right now he was trying to improve that one, probably a low 30, we'll see. But now crossing the line, Beccario, it's a 29 point. Oh, I think that's invalidate for him. It's 7/10 improvement.
Yeah, he dropped it.
Oh.
Right on the exits. He had what he needed to get in that third sector, Alex, but he just brought it a bit too wide.
14 seconds. And we have some drivers still not to cross the line. Artex will cross it now. We have a McLaren and a Haas still to do it. I think it's Hanos. No, it's not Hanos, but it's Gabizum. Really, really close there to the line. Seems like they crossed it. A lot of drivers trying to improve right now.
Well, we're at that final. The checkered flag has been drawn, right? So everybody that's on a lap now, they need to either push with everything they have right now. Rackety pulling off for Jean. Things tight there between the AlphaTauri and Haas, but Jean pushing. Let's go to Epic. Epic's a little bit further along.
I think it's not improving. He has 2/10s. Well, slower lap than before. We'll see now when he crosses, but a lot of understeer there on last corner. It's not enough to improve. We'll see if John can. He's doing it. We'll see on second sector. Well, it's just... Whoa, that's very, very close. I don't think he can get pole with that time right now, but we'll see if he has...
Nope.
Oh!
That's not going to be pole. Nope, that is not what you want to be doing. It's very unfortunate for Jean.
Crampy goes there. He was trying to improve. I don't think he lost any time. Carbon Racer improves to P4, or I don't think he even improved. I think he nailed the same time as he did before. Now Crampy on last corner on P6. Invalidated on last corner. It was 4/10. It was for pole position, and Crampy misses pole position on last corner.
Yeah, that final corner catching everybody here as they push with absolutely everything they have, and I think this might be it. I don't think anyone's on for any improvement. That's it. We are finished with qualifying here. It is Epic in the Ferrari, ladies and gentlemen, securing another pole position this season. Very neatly done. It's a 29.343. The other drivers, Alex, they just couldn't get it across that line with that valid final corner.
Setting the fastest lap with his banker lap. I think it was the first lap. Epic set that lap. Jan as well. I think anyone improved their banker lap. I think anyone on the top 5 improved his banker lap, and well, that's really interesting. Epic getting back-to-back poles. Last week he took it on downboard, and now again on that Ferrari, and it's very, very close margin between the top 3, and I would say even the top. Look at top 14. It's only 6/10.
It is super tight, super tight on this grid, and that's exactly what we love to see. And if you look at this front row, it's literally Well, it's less than 400ths of a second separating Jean and Epic, and Dark's not far off. He's within a tenth of a second of these two. And the entirety of this grid is, I think, going to give us what I said last week in the Netherlands. I think I'll say it again here in Sochi. I think we're in for an explosive race. It's going to be a dry campaign. We've got a lot of very capable drivers here, and it's a little bit of a wider circuit, a circuit with better overtaking opportunity. We're really in for, I think, a wild ride here today. Of course, let us know in the chat who you are rooting for, who you've got on the podium, who you've got for a race win. We want to see your predictions in the chat, who you are a fan of and who you're rooting for. And of course, my personal favorite question, as I ask at every single race before we jump into action, Alex, is, how many safety cars do you think we may just see in this one? I think we may just get a couple.
Yeah, I think so. I was gonna say I'm really thrilled to see what's gonna happen on this first lap, as Russia is known to have a really chaotic start normally, with that second corner and third corner really, really well. Just it's really, really difficult to nail a good start and not having any contact with anyone, because it's really, really tight between second corner and third. And of course, then it opens up a little bit, but it's gonna really hurt some drivers front wings, and I think we will see that. But right now, we'll check this grid.
Alrighty, here we go now. Epic, Jean, Dark, our top three. Carbon Racer, Artex there as well. We take a look at the tires. In the back 10, 9 out of 10 drivers opting for the medium. Beccario, the lone wolf there, he's opted for the softs. Rampy, Yasko, Gabizem, Wisp, Jose Manuel rounding out the rest of the top 10 soft runners. Daniel Monaf, Wavy, Luca. Back row, we have Max O'Connor, Cotters, Beccario, Driver DNV, Hanoz, and Rackety on the grid with us this evening. Of course, my name is Strifium here from Canada. Joining me from Spain, Mr. Alejandro Bito. Man, oh man, am I excited for this one.
It's going to be really, really interesting. Beccario there with a different strategy on the bottom 10, probably trying to maximize that first stint, or probably looking for a safety car on the first laps. I'm probably even pitting for mediums to the end. We'll see if that can work for him, but of course it's dangerous to have a different strategy there on the bottom 10. But of course, going that, if you're on P17, I don't think you have anything to lose, so risk it a little bit, and probably you can take some points today. His teammate on P5 not nailing the laps. A lot of drivers that missed pole by well, just tiny mistakes that can cost a lot of places on that starting grid, and not only that, but probably potentially points.
Well, these races really have a tendency to provide some drama, I think, in these first couple of laps. Russia, a circuit that has a very unique, I think, run into turn 2 here. That turn 1 near that little kink on the run into turn 2 can present some options. Some drivers can get squeezed off, but we'll just have to see how all of the drivers on this tier 3 grid navigate it. Now we see Rackety, the final driver, approaching the grid, Alex, and of course, please, sir, do us the honors as these lights come on to take us away racing.
Yes, we're waiting right now for the last row to really be ready. Now we have the lights. It's 4-5 red lights here on Sochi. Epic is in pole position and Jan is in second place. We'll see who has the better start. It seems like Jan already alongside and probably even in P1. They're side by side on turn 1. Of course, it's flat out. We'll see Carbon Racer on P3 already. Crampy getting 2 places. Gabizon dropping with Jasko. Jasko right now on P7 is Jan ahead of Epic. The AlphaTauri is ahead and Epic is second, but there's a spin. Crampy has been taken out there on turn 3. Jasko is out already. We have a yellow flag on sector 1. Crampy is around. Wavy as well having issues. Both has as well having to use the reverse gear. And it's sector 1 on yellow flags, but it's not virtual safety car or safety car. Wavy right now exchanging with Max O'Connor and back row with Jose Manuel, who has lost 1 place, and Wavy, it seems like he's struggling. His teammate surely is, and he's on the back of this grid.
That is a very unfortunate start. Carbon Racer and Artex with their exchange right now. Artex in 3rd position. Carbon Racer nearly losing it there. Yasko out of contention in this race already is not how he wanted things to go at all. The fact that there is no safety car right now, I imagine a frustration for a number of the drivers collected in the opening lap, in that opening few turns. Right now, Wavy and the other Williams looking to do some justice for his teammate who's dropped into 18th, but fortunately that car's still running. Man, what a race start, and we were talking about it just a few moments ago. Things in Russia can get dramatic quick, and they most certainly have here.
To be honest, I'm having a big issue right now with this race. I can't follow it because for me it has ended. I have the result screen and the podium animation. I don't know why, so I will be back soon. Sorry for the issues.
That was very interesting. Hopefully I can get you back in here, but I can assure you the race most definitely still carrying ahead as we have Artex in, well, the timing tower playing a little bit of a game. Jean is leading this race. Artex is in third position on the rear of the Ferrari in Epic. And we'll get timing tower updates in a few laps when the game decides it's time to give us that information. Here we go now. Carbon Racer on the rear of Artex. He's looking quite close. You really need to make sure you don't take too many risks here, because when you're in a train like this and you take too many risks, you are going to get, of course, yourself into some hot water. You're going to become very vulnerable to the drivers behind. John, Epic, Artex, Carbon Racer, Gabizim are top 5. And train in full formation as we look all the way down to 17th position where Rackety stands, and there's a little bit of a tire differential, especially when we look at the back of that grid. One thing notably for Crampy is he hasn't pit, which means he hasn't taken any significant damage to cause him to come in. And with those softs, he'll have an opportunity to try and, of course, hunt back down this grid, this massive train. And we know he's quite capable of doing so, given that he is our driving championship leader presently.
And yes, I can see, I think, the same that you all guys can see. So right now, Jean leading. Trying to break that DRS is really important. We allowed 3 already. DRS has been enabled. And, well, still not on the detection zone. He's dancing around that 9th, 10th, 8th. Right now, Epic closing a little bit the gap. Probably utilizing more battery than the leader. But it seems like they're both in equal deployment. As a lot of drivers trying to really navigate that sector 2. Their TR is really, really difficult as Epic has kept that DRS alive. And I don't think he will have any problem to follow the race leader at the moment.
It 12 and 13 there from back row, and driver D&B gets exchanged, and Jose Manuel, he's had an issue. He's looking the wrong way. And that is not a position you want to be finding yourself in, even remotely. Epic comes through. 33-172. He has DRS enabled. John now under threat. Just want to give a quick shout out to Mickey Mouse for the subscription. Greatly appreciate the support of the streams and of the league racing.
Wow, Epic having a massive oversteer, at the exit of turn 2. I think he touched a little bit that curve with the rears, and almost that Ferrari went around as Crampy goes ahead of Colors. It seems like they're having an exchange there on the back. Different compound for them as Jose Manuel goes into the pits trying something different with the hearts. Dark as well, not having the best race. Well, both has had an incident on the first lap, but Dark now setting the fastest lap, putting his pace there. Daniel Monov really close on Wisp, and Wisp on Gabizom. We can see probably an exchange here, but Daniel Monov is in a very good place as he's the first driver on the mediums. Yellow flag as Becario is off.
That's not good at all. Becario just coming. That is a safety car deployment. Alex Becario. That's just on the exit out of turn 4. This is lap 4 right now. The safety car has been deployed, and this is really shaking things up. And I'll tell you something else. It's brought Dark, Jose Manuel very well back into the fight. And my, oh my, was Dark ever close to that driver on exit. But that is just not something you want to see so early in a race.
Yeah, and he was on a good strategy if a safety car on the first laps was gonna happen. But now, well, he sparked that safety car, and well, it will be really difficult, of course, to make points as he's out. As Daniel Monaf will take the lead of this race because he doesn't want to pit. He will, well, if he pits now and wants to go to the end, he has to put hard, and that's not the best choice. So he will be staying out, as well as a lot of medium runners that started with that compound and, well, just begging for another safety car on their window or trying to gain all the time now or on the second stint with the softs, but will be very, very difficult for them. It's anyone of Lucaspi, Max O'Connor, Wavy, driver DMB, and Rackery, the drivers that will not be pitting. Backrow puts the softs, Hanos puts the hards, and all the other drivers that have pitted with the mediums.
It's such a shakeup when a safety car comes out at this phase of a race, Alex. It really is. Now, lap 5, you can see just a massive shuffle in this grid as all those drivers come in. They get the different tires on. You've got some different strategies as well. Backer on softs, Wisp on mediums, with all the way up to, well, Jean, and then you have Hanos on the hards, Jose Manuel on these hards. It's just very interesting to see the different tires being utilized as well. Of course, under the safety car, massive shout out to Mr. Mormith. Thank you very much for the resub with the Prime, 3 months, and everyone that's come through to watch the stream today. Greatly appreciate you being here with us. We have so much racing action coming on the channel now through the week, as this is the our third of 7 races here around Russia this week, and we'll have Zandvoort 100% distance this coming Saturday as well, following our Champions Division. Going to be a very, very fun week of racing, and I'd say a dramatic and intense week of racing, given what we've seen here today already. Yasko out in that opening collision. Vicario now, he's out, caused us a safety car early on. It's already proved to be a very, what I would usually say is unique race.
Unique side battles we had at this first stage of the race. I was looking on race director if Backrow started on the mediums, and yes, indeed, he started with the mediums, and now he has pitted for softs. Someone in the chat can say or can tell us if he can go to the end. Do you guys think Backrow on 13th place on that Alpine, starting with the mediums, now putting the soft on their safety car, can he go to the end? I think it's really, really risky, but probably doable. We will have to see what the experts think on the chat. But right now, he's on a really compromised strategy. I don't think he was gonna... He wanted to do that one, but he has to improvise sometimes with the safety car goes out, as we have some exchanges there on their safety car. I think Crampy probably has lagged a little bit behind 2 drivers.
That's nothing you ever want to see, is any kind of desync, things like this come into play. Any kind of lag, connection problems.
Colors as well, I think. Really unfortunate to see this. But right now, only 3. So it's only one driver with penalties, Wavy, and it's 3 seconds. He got it, I think, on lap 3 for extending track limits. Probably, if it's that early, probably it was a triple warning, or at least a double warning. So probably it will be reviewed. But right now, really early to have penalties already. So Wavy has to really care about the track limits from now to the end.
Yeah, we've heard drivers talk about how warnings and penalties can really play with the driving style. You have a certain amount of liberty that you can take until the warnings or the penalties start to ramp up. And drivers have come through, oh yeah, I really had to watch it there. I was driving the whole race with 2 warnings. I didn't want to take a penalty because, you know, a warning's a warning, but once you take that penalty, it's 3 seconds, and 3 seconds in grids like this is massive.
Indeed. A safety car will be on this lap. Daniel Monaf will be controlling the pace now in sector 3. And he has to do it right, as Cramping Colors is still exchanging. We'll have a look at that probably later, the stewards, but right now Daniel Monaf really going slow, but he needs to warm up those tires. It will be easier Probably for him, as they are already used, probably will be easy to warm up those ones. Now waiting for the safety car to go on. He's already on the pit lane, and now Dylan Wanaf just has to choose the perfect moment. We'll see if Lucaspi is wake up for that.
Alrighty, here we go now. Max O'Connor quite tight to Luca there on the exit. Who's tighter? Jean and Rackety. Now you can see these mediums, fresher mediums for Jean coming in good. Epic and Artex. They are having a wheel-to-wheel exchange, and they've broken quite a way from this grid. Rackety, Jean, their wheel-to-wheel. Oh, man.
Well, and who's that? That's driver DMV. Is through now up into P4. But yeah, Jan and Rackety as well, having a lot of exchange. Wavy on the inside of turn 4. Now, oh, that's massive contact. He jumped the curb, and now he's on the middle of the track. He has to reverse, but it's Wavy. Driver DMV survived. I don't know how, but Wavy just jumped through that curb and went almost into the cockpit of the Alpine driver, who stays on P4. Lucky for him, but I think Wavy has damage. And
Did we see that car take air? I thought I just saw that car come off the curb.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He was flying. He took that curb on the inside, and then, well, not lucky for him as he's down into P17 colors on P18. I think he has pitted.
He thought it was a runway.
Wisp and back row having an exchange on turn 13. It's now back row on the outside, but Wisp having those mediums staying there. Max O'Connor and Lucaspi having an exchange because I think
there's so much wheel-to-wheel action going on right now. Alex, it's John and driver DNB wheel-to-wheel through turn 17 right now. There's a little bit of contact. Oh my God. Driver DNB's car got spun around. When the wheels locked, he was spun into the pit lane, and the pit lane auto reset him into the racing line. He's dropped to 13th position. Artex and Rackety now wheel-to-wheel on their way into turn 2. Luca and Jean just ahead.
Man. Jean now on P3, he has pitted already. He's in a perfect place right now. Rackety pushing to catch Artex, which seems to be P2.
Oh, Rackety is spun. This is massive as drivers are coming through. He's got no front left end plate anymore. The safety car has shaken up this race, not only in the grid positioning, but just these racers are all going for it. Back row, he's on the inside of Epic. Ever tight right now, the softs with the traction. Epic extending a little bit deep through the corner. Back row into 9th. Epic really struggling right now. Does he have damage in this Ferrari? Well, he does now.
Oh, yeah. Hanos, I think he was on the outside, and Epic probably didn't know. But Hanos had the front wing there. A lot of contact now, a lot of front wings flying as Artex overtakes Lucaspi. Crampy overtakes back row for 9th place. And Crampy is right now in a very good recovery from what was a very bad start for him. Now on the points and on a very good strategy. Back row struggling there on that turn, going really wide. Jose Manuel overtaking Epic, who was damaged surely, as we saw on stream.
I imagine a few of the stewards. I imagine a few of the stewards watching this race, just the head tilt, you know, the head shake coming down, you know, and it's an interesting race to have seen so far right now. Max O'Connor and John, and we've got, of course, Carbon Racer and Luca. Oh my, the overtake's coming hard and faster on lap 9.
But Gabizum has closed that gap, and right now he will try it on the exit of turn 3. He's on the outside. We'll see if he has the grip. We saw Rackety losing the car, and it's around the outside. That's beautiful from the McLaren, but it's still on the outside. That Lucaspi on the Ferrari. You're side by side now entering sector 2 as Gabizum just ahead of the Spaniard up into P6. That was really good racing.
Yeah, solid stuff there coming out of Gabizum, getting the move done, of course, on the Ferrari. Wisp within range of the Ferrari, and the Ferrari has that penalty of 3 seconds. Wavy has brought his penalties from 3 to 6 seconds, and that's just not where you want to be. And you can see the position changes have been massive in this grid already as we're 9 laps in. We've had a safety car and just a ton of shuffling in this grid already. Wisp now hunting down Luca.
Yeah, he's gonna try it. Not now, both with DRS, but Lucas probably will drop now on sector 3 as it seems like he doesn't have the pace to hold right now. I don't know if he has damage or something. But there goes Wisp on the inside, trying the switch back on sector 3. It's really difficult. He yields. He doesn't want to put the car there on the inside of that chicane, but he'll try it on the outside. And there he goes, Wisp up into P7, and Luca is just, well, getting mugged
He's in
lap
the
after lap.
pits.
Now it's Crampy. Well, there he goes, yeah, into the pits. And that's a yellow flag because Wavy, I think Wavy has crashed.
Oh! Was he? I thought for sure he was reversing into the line there. I thought there was going to be contact. Max O'Connor and Artex have exchanged as Wisp and Crampy now. Well, Crampy has taken advantage of Wisp getting through into
O'Connor.
7th position.
Max O'Connor is trying in. Now on the inside, they're really, really close with Artex on fresher tires. Just braking a little bit late, and he holds P3. Very good move from him. Max O'Connor really defending. And now with a different strategy, he will just try to hold there on the DRS zone of the Spaniard. He's doing a very good job.
Yeah, some seriously tight battles unfolding on circuit right now. Artex, Max O'Connor. They don't want to fight too much here. They need to hold John. Carbon Racer has Gabizim in his rearview mirrors, as well as Crampy with Wisp and back row. Everyone else with a little bit of separation, Rackety and Epic, they're within 3/10.
The gap's a little bit extended. Daniel Monov still holding that pace with John. And we have a yellow flag, and that's a Ferrari of Lucaspi with new tires. The hard's not
That
working
is
for
a
him.
VSC.
And it's a pit. Yep.
Oh my, what is with it? This season has given me so many heart attacks, I swear. I mean, not genuinely, but some close calls. I have to say, every single race there's one of those moments.
We've had a lot of this on these laps. Now it's a VSC. Now it's a VSC. And well, Daniel was controlling that pace a little bit weird because he lost a lot of time, but he will recover it now. But yeah, probably gaps can be closed now. Drive-through can be handled. Wavy into the pits. He will be putting this up and trying something different because he was not on the best strategy. Now we'll see when the virtual safety car goes out where these drivers will land in terms of DRS windows, because that will be very important. You really need to maximize and optimize that delta to have a good run on your rivals. So we'll see now when green flag is waved.
Tightest gap on grid here. The biggest opportunity will be Max versus Artex on this DSC restart. You know, and you look at the tire differential.
Oh, and Wisp.
Well, that's just not how you do it, is it?
Oh, that's really lucky. He was in a very good place. He was the 6th on his strategy. And now with the drive-through, he's surely going to compromise that one. Because now he's on P8. Drive-through will cost him massively as he's really close on Crampy. But I don't know if he'll be happy about that. Of course he won't. Now, probably he will be happy to serve that one on these laps.
Wavy.
And Crampy. Ooh, sorry.
Wavy with a drive-through. Apparently, he took it on the exit of the pit lane.
Oh. I've seen that happen on Tier 1 with Valo as we have a yellow flag, and it's Lucaspi who spun out of Turn 1 with new tires, not having good time today as he has front wing damage. He's understeering all the way into Turn 4, and surely he's going to be lapped.
Max
on a few
O'Connor.
moments.
Max O'Connor under major threat right now. Aston Martin versus Mercedes. Carbon Racer looking to thread the needle through on the inside of turn 4 right now. There's space being left. The wheel well was exposed, and he had that inside left tire there. But Max O'Connor holding well for now.
We'll be jumping into the pits to serve that drive-through. He will not be happy either. He's not having the best race now, but still luck can change. We have still 15 laps and 1 sector to go, as Daniel Manov is gonna lap Lucaspi with a lot of damage. I think he will not even, of course, compete against that, as he's lapped. Now Max O'Connor under threat, but he has DRS to defend with. But Carbon Racer is really pushing there on his straight line speed, closing that gap. Probably the slipstream helping as Wisp trying on Crampy. Now the switch back, he tried that on Lucaspi, but it didn't work at the moment. Crampy defending good. Wisp,
Who is
a little
that?
bit shaky.
It's Luca just stationary on the inside. No front wing on that Ferrari.
No, he was
and
just letting everyone,
letting
I think.
everyone through. And that is one of the worst positions you can find yourself in. Wisp now serving a drive-through. I imagine we'll see Wavy come through as well soon enough.
Yes, I imagine. Well, he did it in the last lap, so I think he has served that already. We have a yellow flag, and that's Lucaspi probably returning on the pits. Yes, indeed. As Carbon Racer, Gabi Zoom, Max O'Connor, they are really, really close, and we'll see some battle here shortly.
Yeah, definitely. Max O'Connor on these ever-degrading tires. He's been on them since the start of the race. Carbon Racer, Gabism, a little bit a life in their tires in comparison. But the key to, of course, Max O'Connor's success is the fact that he's been able to maintain that DRS range on Artex. He's had that defense of the rear wing being wide open against Carbon Racer. Carbon Racer, depending on the pace here, he may not like this because Gabism, if he's faster, could have an opportunity to overtake not just Carbon, but Max as well.
Yes, right now he really needs to put himself up into B4 because he doesn't want to lose that DRS with Artex, who's on the same strategy as him. Max O'Connor still yet to pit, as well as his teammate Daniel Malov leading this race, and they will be pitting probably on these laps, a couple of laps more, probably on 15, 16, but we'll see, because Max O'Connor right now is still keeping that DRS, but when the high degradation kicks in, Carbon Racer will be on a big trouble because he will need surely to overtake that Aston Martin to not lose the DRS with Artex, because he needs that DRS to maintain the podium, the net podium he is right now, to protect him of Gabism.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, good little train here on the rear of Artex, of course. Really the main train, the only train in the grid. There's some good separation, some good tire strategy differential in the grid right now. We've had that safety car shake things up. Now, of course, lap 14 of 27, we're at that halfway point. You can see Carbon Racer just breaking off, looking at that inside.
Yes, the thing is where Daniel Monov and where Max O'Connor will land after their pit stop, because that's going to be really interesting. They're keeping, of course, themselves in that train, gaining time, because you gain a lot of time on that DRS train, as Max O'Connor has had a mistake out of turn 9. I think he has lost that DRS. Yes, indeed,
Yeah.
He's vulnerable right now. Carbon Racer needs to overtake now. He knows it. He's using that DRS. Look how much he's closing now on the outside, and on the braking will be on the inside, and he has done it already, but now he has to close that gap to the Red Bull ahead because he doesn't want to lose that DRS. It's really, really important for his race, but it will be really difficult to catch 210s against Artex, as he has a slide on that chicane, and I don't think he will keep it.
Yeah, I think that this has really maybe cost Carbon Racer here. Artex on the same tires is now pulling away. Max O'Connor, Gabism, here we go. The exit for Gabism coming out of the final turn, pushing with that battery on the inside now as we come through turn 1. DRS on the rear wing, wide open for the pair of them. However, Gabism a little bit more juice in the McLaren right now, is going to pull through on the inside of turn 2 with a neat move in the McLaren. Very well done there.
Still close, Max O'Connor, but well, he doesn't have the car there. Gabism closed the door really good when he was diving on the inside of turn 2, and now closing the gap to Carbon Racer, and that's the fight for the podium, as Daniel Monov has not pit yet. Driver DMV with a 3-second time penalty. They're down into P14, having some issues before. Now it's just we have to see when the Aston Martins will pit, because that will shake the race a little bit more, because they will pit probably, and they will land probably between Wisp and Colors, I would say.
Gabism, of course, on the rear of Carbon Racer. This has really given Crampy an opportunity. He is in the train. He has the DRS on the rear of Max O'Connor. If Carbon Racer is not able to hold, of course, Gabism will be able to put him under pressure. If they fight, Max O'Connor on the worn tires, he's kind of a void point at the moment. Crampy will be able to join them and do the work that, of course, he likes to do. Max O'Connor now is out of that equation, but I think it might just be too late. I think Crampy still might have DRS to Gabism. Does he have the DRS to Gabism? It's 1.5. No, he doesn't have DRS. So he didn't get DRS coming into that section, which is very, very good for the McLaren. Max O'Connor now, where is he going to come out?
I don't know, probably between both Alfa Romeos as driver DMB overtakes one of them, which its colors on that hard compound which is struggling. We'll see Max O'Connor now. I think it will be behind Wisp and ahead of driver DMB clear. But he will have to push. He will have to push really a lot with those new softs. The differential on pace will be massive, probably 1.5 against those mediums that Wisp has on at least I would say 1.5 seconds. So let's see if he can catch.
Gabism dancing in and around 1 second on Carbon Racer. Carbon Racer dancing in and around 1 second on Artex. And this is crucial for Carbon Racer, as I think he might have just secured the DRS. No, he did not get the DRS on Artex, meaning that Gabism does have DRS, able to maintain that gap a little bit easier.
Artex struggling with ERS right now because he's trying to push to not. Well, he was able to keep Carbon Racer out of that DRS range, but now he has used a lot of battery and he's struggling on that. It's really close still, just dancing on 1.0 as Daniel Monaf goes into the pits. We'll see where he lands, but it should be around just behind Jose Manuel on P9. So I think there might be the place for the Aston Martin. And we have to push a lot on that second stint as well as his teammate because they need it. They need it surely as Gabism is really close on the back of Carbon Racer.
Yeah, a little bit of a snap there for Carbon coming out of turn 2 into 3, and this is really going to give Gabism a solid look at that rear end. Less than 2/10 the gap coming through turn 4 right now as back row is in the pits. Daniel Monaf has exit in the P8, just about 3 seconds ahead of Hanoz and the other McLaren. 4/10 between Carbon Racer. What a fight we're seeing unfold between the Mercedes and McLaren here for that final podium position. I mean, all podiums positions are really still up for grabs here. We still have a great chunk of racing left. Jean has been having a stellar drive. Now we have Max O'Connor looking at Wisp. He's on the fresh softs. He's got a lot of fighting ability.
He's trying to find the gap. He has been one lap already there behind Wisp, and he has not put the car. He doesn't have that much energy to play with, but of course that grip on those softs will help him, but not with those lines. I think he lost a little bit of time, but now, well, Wisp closing the gap. We'll see if he has the DRS to defend with. It doesn't seem like, so now it seems like it will be a really easy move for Max O'Connor with DRS, but Wisp squeezing a little bit. He doesn't want Max O'Connor to have it easy as Max jumps into the points. His teammate, meanwhile, closing the gap to Jose Manuel. Already 3/10 as I see that gap really going down.
Here comes Gabism. Pushing Carbon. He looks to that inside. He doesn't pull the trigger yet, and patience being shown right now.
This is gonna be really interesting at the end of the race. 10 laps to go. Fighting for the podium, and not only that, sorry, but Crumpy, it seems like he's holding that pace, probably even closing sometimes. So can be really a three-way battle. Now Max O'Connor up into P9, overtaking Hanoz on turn 1, Epic on driver DMV, as I think driver DMV had a mistake on last corner.
Yeah, there's a ton of time being lost there between them.
Hanoz, after losing that plate with Max O'Connor, is vulnerable to Wisp with the same age on those mediums. Oh!
What's happened here? We have a yellow flag coming through the section. 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Daniel Monaf. How has that happened? Is there damage on that Aston Martin? It does not appear so.
Doesn't seem like, but Wisp now, he'll take not only 1 but 2 places on 2 corners up into P9 with those mediums that can go to the end, and we'll see. Oh!
That's
and he
not
spins.
good at all.
Oh, and that's a receptor track, and that's damage for Hanoz as he spins as well. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Hanoz just outbraked himself and took out Wisp. I was on board with the Alfa Romeo, and I thought he touched the curb on the inside too much, and that's what well created that spin. But I really don't know what happened there. Probably contact.
Yeah, very interesting situation to find yourself in. Very unfortunate as well. Now on lap 19 at 27, Hanaud's dropping himself into the pit lane for a change of tires, and we'll see what he's able to do. Wisp and Jose Manuel, they exchange. Jose Manuel, 3-second time penalty coming out of turn 2, and that's just not fun if you're in the Mercedes at all.
No, sector 1 yellow flags. That's Hanaud's retires on the pits. He was dropped out of the points, and then after that, that collision didn't help to him. Probably damage. Not on the best tire that you can be on. It was on the hards. And of course, he was struggling a little bit on pace as Wisp just overtook him easily on that last lap. So now we'll see, because it's still the fight on for that podium, and Crampy closing the gap. It seems like 1/10 per lap. Will he be able to keep that pace and, well, going into that DRS window and try to fight for the podium after the contact he had on the first lap?
Here goes Wisp now. Jose Manuel inside now for the Alfa Romeo. It's wheel to wheel through the turn. Jose Manuel defending on the inside as we come back through the left-hander, and he has spun that car around. Back row coming through, taking evasive maneuvers, and that is going to be Jose Manuel dropping a position as we say that. Carbon Racer and Gabizem. It's unfortunate we missed it, but they have exchanged now for third position. Carbon Racer is in, of course, a defensive position, wanting to fight back now for that third place. I mean, Gabizem in a defensive position just the same, but here's something. Carbon Racer just took 3 seconds on the exit out of turn 4, which is just a very bad position to find yourself in when hunting down a podium. Crampy's going to be loving it.
Yeah, that's a free place for Crampy, as he has gained some places because someone are retiring on the pits. That was really, really bad for him. He was on points and he was doing a very good race. He was on P7, I think, as a Carbon Racer. Wow, that was a very good save for him out of turn 9, I think it is. And he saved that one really, really good. Carbon Racer keeping that car straight after that oversteer, but he almost touched the back of Gabizem. Well, he's losing a little bit of the concentration after losing that place. He had that penalty and then two, mistakes, let's say, because it was actually 2 mistakes. Another one as he hits that curb and loses DRS to Gabizem at the moment. Is really close between that 9/10 and second. I think he has kept it alive. Probably yes.
Wavy is right on the rear of Carbon Racer right now. So this, it has given Crampy DRS to bring himself into Carbon Racer's range here. And Wavy is lapping past Carbon Racer.
Yeah, Wavy has give Crampy DRS. Crampy now 7/10 behind Carbon Racer. Carbon Racer, after those mistakes, he has lost DRS and Artex right now with a penalty that can bring Crampy into the podium probably. Well, this potentially, if he can keep this space. I think he's right now on range to gain that place.
Wavy is going to get dinged here, I think, because he is on the rear of the McLaren. He has not really broken away from that car in Carbon Racer. He's on the fresh softs. He has the pace. He's going to pull away. Okay. DRS for Carbon Racer. Wavy pulling away enough that he's actually looking to maybe even attack this McLaren. Wavy doesn't want to be lapped at the end of this race.
I mean, he's on his right. He can do it. But of course, it's going to compromise a couple of tenths for these drivers on the top 5 battle. Now pushing. I'm probably stressing a little bit Gabizem, because he knows he has someone on the mediums, on the softs right now who's waving behind him. Why we really needs to, really wants to push and go ahead of these drivers and probably, help a little bit his teammate, as Crampy is still on DRS. Gabizem closed the DRS to Artex, but now Wavy pushing with energy. He will stay ahead of Gabizem. Well, no, he yields because he doesn't want to really.
Yeah, he needs to have it clean cut through. I don't think he'd take a risk, because it could potentially affect a leader's race. You know, you don't want to be doing that.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to.
Well, he's just slid through turn 4.
I think he took the curb again. The curb that sent him flying. Now it has sent him around, and he's down the order again as Wisp has pitted. I don't know why. I don't know if he has damage or something, but I think he was on the pits. Sorry, on the point. Well,
wait a minute.
Oh my God.
Did Artex?
Artex took a penalty.
They both took the
2 laps
penalties.
ago, and Jan took another one.
So,
Well,
wow.
that's the win for Jan at the moment.
That's
he really
tough.
needs to pray to Gabi's room to cap now, but it's 5 laps to go, and Gabi's room is still clear. No penalties for him. Crampy, no penalties for him, but he's closing the gap on Carbon Racer, and really, well, he needs to know about this situation. I think he's right now on P2 or P3 Crampy. It's really, really close between these drivers.
You love to see this. You love to see these races coming down. Penalties playing a role, really kind of shaking things up. Artex right now under threat, not only from the penalty, but he's just pushing. Crampy, Carbon Racer, wheel to wheel through turn 1 and, well, excuse me, through turn 2. I almost caught myself there. I mean, he wants that inside. He's looking for that inside. Does he find that thread of the needle he wants? Later on the brakes right now, he's got fronts to rears. He backs out of it. He actually jumps off. And I
think
have
he
to
locked the
say,
rears.
that's
I think he locked the rears, and that was really, really dangerous for him as he has to slide and catch that one. Now he lost almost 1 second to leader. He was 3.5, now 4.2. We have a yellow flag, and that's Artex around.
Oh,
and Artex
my.
rejoining. Wow!
Oh, man, that was almost a big collision. A
That's a
big
penalty
collision.
for Daniel, avoiding that incident. And Artex, no wing. Well, he's gonna be dropping a lot of places as Artex gets another penalty for corner
Ooh.
cutting, of course. No wing at all. Crampy losing more tenths to the leader. And he's on P3 at the moment, I think.
Dark with a clear-cut overtake on Artex. Artex, no front wing on his car right now. Driver DNB calls things into the pit lane. And this race has really gone from what could have been a great finish for Artex to the worst possible position to find yourself in.
Man has the pace of Tier 1, but doesn't have the patience for Tier 3. And that's what happens when you have a lot of pressure to really win. But you don't perform as you thought you were gonna do. Now Artex going into the pits and potentially retiring. There we go. It's 2 retirements in a row for Artex. That could have been wins for him. But now it's a 0-0 for the Red Bull squad on 2 weeks. So we'll see now. Gabi's on 2.2, and I think I think Jan is extending that gap. It's 2.3, and it's 3 laps and a half to go. 3 laps and a half to go, and Jan has to gain 7 cents to win this race.
This has been a very dynamic race. I said it at the beginning, it's going to be an explosive campaign. I think it certainly has been. Now 7 cars out of the race. Big shout out to Driver DNB. Thank you very much for the raid and host. We greatly appreciate that. Unfortunate to see you out of the race. But, well, I suppose that's just how today unfolded here in Russia.
A little bit calm now. Only Colors is the only driver on the grid right now with within DRS range on his rival in front. But he's losing time because he's on the hards. Epic on the mediums. Epic who started this race on pole position down into P9. I think it happened as well on Zambur that he started on pole position and then he was dropping.
Yeah, I think you're correct in saying that. And one thing to note is that Carbon Racer doing everything he can to try and break into the DRS of Gabizim, and should he do that and get Crampy there as well, Gabizim and Crampy might just be able to have a duel for that potential race win if Crampy is able to clear through Carbon Racer. Not a lot of time left though. We're on the 25th of 27th lap here in Russia. Just a wild race it's been. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, a lot of changes there on the front, on the top 5. We had Artex fighting for that. Zasko having a mistake on the well, no, I don't know if it was a mistake or some contact on some issue that sent him around. Not only him, but a lot of drivers affected on that exchange on first lap. Now Carbon Racer closing the gap a lot on Gabizon because Gabizon doesn't have that much battery. Well, the Mercedes doesn't either, but he had that DRS. Daniel Morav now on Dark. He's up into P5, both with penalties, but I think those penalties are as consequence of that incident with Artex, just trying to avoid the contact. We'll see now as Daniel goes, well, up into P5, and I think that's where he was before the safety car that really compromised him a little bit that race.
Carbon Racer now in the Mercedes. We're on the penultimate lap of contention, ladies and gentlemen. No penalty in it for Gabizem. However, Carbon Racer is about to really throw a monkey wrench into it for the McLaren, because Carbon Racer, with that penalty, is going to push into second position and bring Crampy into an absolute fight here. Now, key thing to note here, Jean is breaking away. He needs 3 seconds to the drivers behind him, and he's just dancing in and around it to these drivers like Gabizem and Crampy. Carbon Racer is null and void in this situation. So right now, as things stand, Jean has this race win. Gabizem and Crampy, they need to get ahead of Carbon Racer and break down the door to that 3-second gap.
It's very interesting because Gabizem had that P1, I think almost, well, he had that P1, but Carbon Racer put himself between that McLaren and AlphaTauri, and now the win is taken away from the McLaren driver. And not only that, but Crampy probably even can take that P2 as he's closing to that McLaren, but that McLaren has DRS still. We're on lap 26 and we're gonna enter the last lap. Jan seems like he's a little bit saved of that battle for P2. He seems to have P1, but I don't want to jinx him. I want Jan to win, not gonna lie. He has been a lot of time here on MRL, and I think he deserved it, surely. 3.3 is the gap between P1 and P2. Gabizom is 4/10 only. They are all low in battery. Crampy pushing that DRS. Gabizom as well. He doesn't want to be overtaken, of course, as they are both on the same in terms of penalties.
Gabizem on the inside of Carbon. He's looking for it. Nothing doing. That risk, that might have been exactly what Crampy needed to get through on the McLaren. Look, he's on the inside as we come through on the tight left-hander. Gabizem heavily exposed to snap for Crampy, not going to give him a very good exit into turn 5. Carbon Racer has a snap through turn 5. He's gone off wide. Gabizem sees it. Daniel Monaf, no, who's that? I think that's Wavy, who's caught back up to this train. It is.
I don't think he wants to really disturb now his teammate. He might be, well, really focused right now in this battle. He needs to overtake Gabizem for that P2. But now, Gabizem having a good exit, having DRS, both in same energy. Gabizem not gonna get Carbon Racer, and Crampy is not gonna get Gabizem, at least on the straight. We'll see if he dives on the inside. No, he doesn't. And Gabizem is skipping it right now, entering Sector 3. Jan, 4 seconds clear of P2. But Carbon Racer has a penalty that will drop him to P4 at this moment.
Well, here we have it now. I don't think there's going to be any last second sends. It's going to be Jean in the AlphaTauri taking the checkered flag here. Carbon Racer rounding now the final turn will collect second. However, it is Gabizem to the podium with Crampy following him just shy 4/10 the gap at the line. Carbon dropping off on penalties, and that will round out the podium here for Tier 3, Round 3 Russian GP action. My oh my, Daniel Munaf there in 5th Dark coming through to the line. He's got Max O'Connor right there with him. Max will take 6th position in that Aston Martin from Dark back row, now finishing 8th, and it will be epic. This race's pole sitter, who had quite the turbulent campaign, finishing in 9th. Cotters will come behind him in 10th for that final points position. Wisp with a little bit of an issue coming across the exit there on the curbing. What a race finale. What a race that was for the Tier 3 action. We're going to get interviews and a raid going just in a moment here. But wow, oh wow. Great finale.
Amazing. That was amazing. Driver of the day for Max O'Connor today on Russia. And John, of course, taking that P1 that for a moment I thought it was gone for him, but a lot of battles happening behind him made him keep that first place, even with a penalty. Crampy was not able to overtake Gabism, so he will be staying third behind the Brazilian. On second place on that, McLaren as a reserve. Very good performance for him. Carbon Racer on fourth after winning on Zandvoort. Dinamo on a fifth. Sixth for Max O'Connor, so it's double points for Aston Martin. Dark seventh, back row in eighth. Epic from pole position to P9. And Colors, who said that he was going to perform very good, he keeps that point valid for today.
Yeah, very good there from him to get that final point slot from 16th. But what a race overall. We saw a lot of position changes, a lot of shuffling in this Tier 3 race, but a good race, I think, overall. A very action-filled race, especially in that middle end, especially after that safety car. But, of course, we're going to hear from our drivers in just a few moments. John, Gabism, and Crampy, should they be available for interviews? And then we're going to head off with a raid as we usually do. And of course, if you're still with us, later this evening, in about 4.5 hours' time, we have the MRL, America's Tier 1 division, taking to the Russian GP as well. And given how the Tier 2 race went yesterday, I'm very much looking forward to the Tier 1 America's race this evening, because we saw full wet weather last night. All right. Get interviews dialed in here. Going to be speaking to our P3 finisher, joining us in the commentary booth for I think it's the third time this season already, Mr. Crampy. Hello, how are you feeling? It's not a race win today, but it's a P3, a very hard fought P3, I think, in the end for you. How are you feeling about your performance in Russia today?
Well, I thought all hope was lost after turn 1 where I got clipped and spun. But then with the safety car, I was able to fight back through, keep it clean, no penalties, and grab the podium. So, yeah, decent result with how it all started.
It was a very up and down race. The first turn, the first 2 turns, why don't you just talk us through, how did this race start for you? We saw you at the back very early on. Things did not get off to a good start. And really, to see you on the podium after how things started, it must have been such a climb to get here.
Yeah, so turn 2 here, I was just minding my business, then I think they were like too wide behind me or like close to me, then they just tapped my rear. But then with the safety car, that pretty much put me with the pack, so then I could fight through and get these points. And because, well, for a while I was struggling to stay in pen range of Carbon Racer because they were in a DRS train and I was like 2 seconds behind, and every lap I gained like half a tenth in the corners, but then they got it all back on the straight, and then it was just that for a while.
It was very good when they started fighting. You were able to kind of catch up. Doors open for you. Now next week, round 4, Spa. How are you looking for Belgium coming ahead?
I'm not too sure really. I haven't raced it much this game. I've heard that a lot of the curbs can spin you out very easily, but you also need to use the curbs to get the quickest times, so gonna have to find a balance to hopefully do well and not bottle my quali again.
All right, well, excellent race today, Crampy. Any questions from you, Mr. Bitto, for Crampy, our P3 finisher this evening?
Anything to say about that performance? Of course, always can be better, but that recovery was really, really good. So, this is to him, and of course, to that job.
Thank you, Crampy.
No worries.
That was Crampy, ladies and gentlemen. P3. We are now going to be joined by our P2 finisher. It is going to be Gabism in the commentary booth with us this evening. Hello, Gabism. P2 finish for you in Russia. Congratulations, and how are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I think it was a pretty smooth race. I managed to avoid all the accidents, but a little bit disappointed because I could get GM by the end, but he had a better pace than me, and so GG to him.
In the end there, the battling, did it cost you overall? Do you think had the battles not been as, dominant in the end there, do you think you could have maybe caught up to the AlphaTauri, or was it just too little too late in the end?
No, I think that when I don't know the Red Bull spun, I was pretty close to him, but I started to lose time pretty fast. So I knew that I didn't have the pace to keep close. So I was okay. Maybe the guy behind me can push me to him, but he took a little bit too much, and I lost too many time doing this strategy.
Well, it was a very hard fought race in the end. Of course, P2, a very good result, looking strong. How are you looking for next round, of course, with Spa coming up?
I hope that I can get the chance to race. So as a reserve, I don't know yet, but it's a pretty nice track. Hope that I can have the same result.
Well, always opportunities to race, of course, and given the results, I imagine you'll want to race in Spa and try to get some more points, maybe get yourself into a full-time drive. But again, just a great drive overall today. Any questions from you, Alex, for Gabism?
I don't think so. It was a really fun podium. He really put the pace there, and of course the skills. So keep it. Carbon Racer took probably even the win, but it was really, really interesting to see their fighting because it was really, really good. And of course, I wish you had fun on this race.
I totally had. It's finally good to have a podium on MRL. I think I'm trying for the second season now, so with a fun race like this, it's a double. I'm happy as double.
Nice to hear. Nice to hear.
Excellent race, Gabism, and thank you for taking the time to interview. Do you have any messages for the viewers before we head on to our race winner?
Yeah, just if you guys can follow VL on Instagram and Twitter. I think that if you look up at VL Esports, because we are trying to grow up here in Brazil and maybe gain a little more of fame in this scenario too. So that would be really helpful to us.
Well, shout out to VL and congratulations, Gabism, on a great result.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
That was Gabism, ladies and gentlemen, our P2 finisher here this evening. Now it is time for our final interview, and it is with a driver who has been in the MRL for a long time with me and with Bido and with all the guys. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first victory. Not first podium, but first victory in the league. Russia, how are you feeling? Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, I think it's my first win after 5 long seasons in this league. But yeah, I feel amazing, to be honest, to finally win a race. So yeah.
3-second penalty for you there. You had, of course, Gabism hunting you down, no penalty. In the end, there was a little bit of a fight that kind of cost him some operating time, I'll say. Was there a big stress on you at the end of that race, seeing the gaps?
Yeah, I was stressing the whole race, to be honest, because Artex was just flying behind me. I like wasn't sure how I was supposed to defend against him. Well, like if he had the DRS, but I managed to like how do you say it? Manage the stress and everything, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was a really thrilling race to watch, and you took things right from the get-go. You had the lead of the race, and it was a really good, consistent race from you. Unfortunately, that 3-second penalty, but you got the win in the end. A great result. Of course, the safety cars and all of these situations coming through. How does this race set you up for another campaign coming ahead? Spa, Belgium. It's a race that has a lot of deep history maybe in the league. You'd know better. You'd been here for a while. It's a very interesting race. We've seen some challenging campaigns around there previously. How are you shaping up for Spa next week for round 4?
So Spa, I think it's not a very good track for me. I tried it the other day and it felt fast, but I was spinning all the time. So I think I just get consistent, and we'll see what happens next race.
Well, congratulations. I think Alex had to go, but it was just
No.
a great, it was a great race from you, and congratulations. Do you have any messages for the viewers before we wrap things up?
Yeah, so thank you so much for the AlphaTauri team, especially Jasko, who unfortunately retired lap 1. I don't know what happened to him, but he did a good job engineering me for the race, and everyone who picked me, everyone who congratulated me, thank you so much.
Well, congratulations, John. And Alex says he's sorry he couldn't say goodbye, but congratulations and GG. He says, I love you.
Yeah.
Well,
Movito.
so congratulations, John. We're going to see you next week for round 4. And, well, best of luck in Spa.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that is going to wrap it up for us here with the Tier 3 racing action in Russia. That was round 3 of Season 5. My name is Strifium here from Canada. Joining me for all of it was Mr. Alex Bitto from Spain, who had to dip out a little bit earlier, which is totally okay. And later this evening, well, we have more racing to come ahead. In about 4.5 hours, and just shy of 4.5 hours, we have the Americas Tier 1 division racing action, and I'll be commentating that either solo or with Mr. Seb, and it's going to be a very, very good race. We had a good couple of rounds so far in the Tier 1 Americas division, and that's all going to take place at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 2 a.m. for those of you in the UK, British Summer Time, and 3 a.m. quite early for those of you in Central Europe. But it's going to be a great, great race, so if you happen to be around, make sure to park it here. Twitch.tv/MisfitsRL for all of the great racing action to come still today. And we have great racing still yet to come this week. Tier 2 tomorrow, Tier 1 on Thursday. We've got the Champions Division on Saturday once again, just ahead of what will be a 100% distance campaign around the iconic Zandvoort, the Netherlands, as it's coming up in Formula 1 racing this weekend. Of course, we have all of our socials there, Twitter, Discord, jump in. We have all of our race replays and highlights on our YouTube channel. And well, a massive shout out to our great partners, Fytron. Please check them out on their site. They've got some great, great software over there helping out engine builders globally, and we really love to see them helping us out, support sim racing here on the virtual side of the automotive world. And now, with that, thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you later this evening for America's Tier 1.